Hey, DawgNation, I'm Brandon Adams. Welcome in live to our DawgNation Duck Hunt tailgate. Happy to be joined alongside Mike Griffith. And, y'all, we wait a long time for moments like this. I'm talking about 12 regular season Saturdays. But how about kicking it off in style right here, Home Depot backyard, next to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, as Georgia gets ready to take on Oregon in one of the most anticipated games here for Week 1. Reigning national champions, and I would say thus far, Mike Griffith, it has been a tailgate befitting the champ.
It's been unbelievable. You know, talk about the city of Atlanta just taking over and all the dog fans. And there's a pretty good showing of the duck fans, too. I mean, I don't know how much better it can get than this, being a national champion, playing Oregon at a state-of-the-art facility, all your fans. I mean, again, this is why we do college football, man. I mean, it's a great environment.
So later on this afternoon, we're going to come back live and do our Kroger kickoff, and you're going to see the players arrive. In just a few minutes' time, they're actually going to walk right through our tailgate as they make their way into Mercedes-Benz Stadium today. Oregon's going to do the same thing on their side of this big tailgate lawn. So the pageantry is everything that you would expect it to be. We're having a great time, delicious food. The finished long drink's been flowing all day long today. It's just been a great experience. And Mike, when you talk to Georgia fans out here, obviously they're enjoying the festivities. We predicted this, that in some respects what was going to be happening today was going to be a little bit of a continued celebration of the national championship, because fans aren't coaches and players. Coaches and players turn the page. Coaches and players have to get focused. Fans, in some respects, this may be the first time they've hung out with their game day friends since the national championship. And so some of this is about going back and reliving some of that, as Connor Riley joins us here there too. We'll squeeze in, make some room for him. But the point is, when it comes to Georgia on the field today for these fans enjoying this tailgate, a lot of curiosity about exactly what Georgia's going to look like once they take the field at 3:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of guys, and now it's finally their time, Brandon. You were visiting with Kenny McIntosh's family just a moment ago at our DawgNation tailgate, one of our VIP player families. And, you know, they're excited. I mean, you're talking about a lifetime of work for a guy like Kenny McIntosh, and now it's finally his time to be on the national stage and be the number one back. I think Kenny McIntosh is going to be one of the nice surprises that comes out of this game today.
I think that's a great prediction. I'll bring in Connor Riley here. And Connor, for you, I think the contrast is really interesting. You're in Athens all the time, and you're giving us very studious notes about practices. And you talk to Kirby Smart, he's all business, and he challenges the Georgia players to be all business there as well. But when you're here for a situation like this, you're reminded that for 99% of the people who engage with college football, it's entertainment, it's a party, it's a lot of fun. And parties rarely bigger than one that's taking place right now for UGA.
No, and this is a situation they're comfortable with. They were in Charlotte last year against Clemson in a bigger game. Now there's going to be, I think, a more intense environment because it's Atlanta. It is a essential home game here. It's probably 80-20 Georgia fans to Oregon fans right now. And so I think it's going to be interesting. You know, they've played in this stadium every year under Kirby Smart, and I think that's going to continue, obviously, playing here today, and then they'll play here again in the SEC championship game. But I'm really interested in seeing how this team establishes itself to start this year, because it is not going to be the same team we saw last year.
A lot of folks know Alabama in this building been a little bit of a problem for UGA, but that belies the overall point that Georgia's actually 4-1 against the spread in its last 5 games in a neutral venue. Maybe that works to Georgia's favor today. Obviously, most of the folks who are here expect a Georgia win, but Connor and Mike, I'm going to ask you the same question in a moment. But Connor, if it goes wrong for Georgia, this game is closer than in the fourth quarter than the experts think it's going to be. How have we gotten to that point, if that is indeed the case?
Noah Sewell is the best player on the field for Oregon, and I think Bo Nix, his escapability, playing behind probably the best offensive line he's ever played with when playing against Georgia, that allows him to create a little bit more, a la like the Auburn-LSU game last year, where I think he single-handedly sort of won them that game. So it's Noah Sewell really just wrecking shop on defense for that Oregon team. I don't think he's capable of single-handedly doing that, even though he's a very talented player. And then on the offensive side, the offensive line behind blocking and holding up against a defensive line outside of Jalen Carter that Kirby Smart has had some concerns about, and allowing Bo Nix the time to freelance and create plays downfield.
So, Mike Griffith, I'll let you have a turn on the same topic. People expect a Georgia win today. The gambling experts expect a comfortable Georgia win today. But if it doesn't happen, if Georgia's fighting for its life late, why is that?
I wonder about special teams. You know, you've got a new punter. I mean, I think we've all taken Jake Camarda for granted, how he changed field position. We know Brett Thorson has been a little shaky, the true freshman, coming in. I mean, he's never played in an environment like this, right? So that's one. Two, Kirby talked about all the special teams players that moved on to the NFL. I mean, those 15 guys that got drafted, most all of them also played special teams. So I think that's an area where Georgia could be vulnerable. And as we know, special teams can spark momentum. That's if it goes wrong. I don't think it will, but that is one area that I am concerned about.
So when you do a big DawgNation.com tailgate like this, obviously we try to give great value to our audience, and if we charge what we're supposed to for these tickets, it'd be hundreds of dollars. We're able to keep from doing that, though, because we do have a great collection of sponsors. You've been seeing their logos on the screen throughout, and I want to say a special thank you here to our friends at Kroger, The Finnish Long Drink, Marlowe's Tavern, Merriweather and Tharp, R.S. Anders, 7-6 Apparel, obviously a part of these great T-shirts there as well. We can't do big events like this without big sponsors, and they've obviously been great sponsors for us leading into this DawgNation.com today. All right, final thing here, and we're going to get ready to go and see this players walk come through here, the dog walk coming right through this tailgate. I'm going to challenge you both. This game's been talked about every way possible here over the course of the last few months. Anything else about the game today that hasn't been talked about enough? Any surprise, any wrinkle, anything that you think hasn't gotten enough attention prior to what's about to take place?
Wow. On the Georgia side, no, because if Connor hasn't written it, I have, and Centel even brings a little bit of that analysis to the table. But on the Oregon side, Spencer Webb, the senior that died in a tragic cliff diving accident in July, there's going to be a lot of emotion on that Oregon sideline, and you never know. Remember James Cook when he was missing and how the team rose up to the challenge in the Peach Bowl? I'll keep my eye on the Oregon Ducks and that emotion, and if that can provide them with some extra incentive that carries deeper into the game against a better, more talented Georgia football team.
That's an interesting point. Connor, how about from you? Any surprise, any angle that hasn't been talked to death yet?
I don't know if it's a surprise, but he's kind of flown under the radar. We've gotten him a few times in media availabilities, and people kind of roll their eyes. To quote Santana Moss, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. Chris Smith is going to have an interception today.
I love that prediction. Hey, thanks for being here with us. It's our DawgNation.com. We're having a great time. We'll be back here live for our Kroger kickoff later on. We'll show you the players when they walk through here. We'll give you all the sights, the sound, the pageantry as DawgNation.com rolls on. Not a good day to be a duck. Dogs on top. We'll see you for more right after this.